Today marks 1542nd day of daily lessons, daily reflections. And today I want to speak about a very unique topic. I was started thinking about it probably half an hour ago. And today's lesson will be not prepared and I will think on the go because I found it's very interesting to really reflect and think about relationships through analogy. And my starting point was, I thought that at the end I will share four stages of relations, but my starting point was like, okay, what are relations? What kind of knowledge could I create about relations? And my starting point was ice cubes. I was like, okay, ice cubes. If it melts, that means it is a pure relationship. And because relations could be have strong boundaries, it's strong, and if you destroy the boundaries, that means that it melts and then the relations appears. But I thought, how are we supposed to really call relations ice cubes? Ice, cold. I thought, no, that doesn't make sense. But after that, I realized, okay, like if you warm up that ice, it becomes cold water and it becomes warm water. So I think that relation is supposed to be like warm water because it's fluid, it's flexible, it's adaptable, it's comfortable, it's enjoyable in warm water. And of course, if you neglect that relationship, keep distance, you are not able to be present. You did not give five love languages to each other. Like, of course, every single person wants to be loved differently. And if you are not giving the way love, the way how they want to receive it, it might be that it will create distance. And when that creates distance, that warm water, that warm relationship could become cold relationship, like cold water. And if you neglect even more, it could be freeze and could become like ice cubes, like ice. It freezes. But it's and I was thinking that if it becomes ice, you're able to fix it. Neglected relations could be fixed because you warm up, you change, you improve, you spend more time, you should start to show you the love how you're supposed to show. But now where the beautiful part ends is that if you actually go to other direction now, so it was ice, it was cold water, it was warm water, but now if you start to heat that relationship, and if you heat that relationship, what happens again? That means that you have hot water, and when you have a hot water, and it goes beyond comfort, and it goes be above and beyond comfort. What happens? It starts to hurt. It starts to be painful. It starts to damage your skin, and it damages you emotionally, mentally, physically, all the ways that when we think about actual relationships, that when you really heat up a relationship, it starts to hurt. And one thing, what happens, I think, to relationships quite often is that you go to extremes. The relationship becomes extremely hot, painful, hurtful, and people start to distance themselves. And now from hot it moves to very very fast to cold because you remove everything very very fast, like no interaction, no nothing, and it moves from hot to warm and right away to cold and maybe even to ice. But now people fix, they get back together, they start to really interact again, and at the beginning is like honeymoon again. They love seeing each other. They love the company of each other. And then, of course, that then goes from ice, goes to cold water, goes to warm water. And now, in a warm water, people get comfortable and go back to the old ways that made the relation hot. And again, this goes to the water becomes so hot that it becomes painful. And when you think about relations, it becomes so hot, it becomes painful. And where people again take a break and then go cycle that over and over again and until you understand, okay, where what makes that relation heat that much that it becomes painful. And I was writing the things, of course I'm a man, so I was writing from the perspective of, okay, what female could do. And I was thinking, reflecting as well just a couple of minutes ago, that feminism, such an interesting word. I'm not against feminism, but I think that if you're in a family and you don't bring feminine energy, I think that's is not okay. Maybe it's some families, maybe they're they want to switch energies, and maybe a man wants to be feminine energy, and a female want to bring masculine energy. But I think that a true woman is supposed to be able to bring feminine energy in the relationship, because I think that what the heats relationship is when the lady is not able to really bring that femininity in a relationship, and our two masculine energies are fighting for different things, competing. And I think that's exactly one area where really heats up relation when it breaks. And I was thinking that when you heat that water even more, what happens to water? It starts to boil. And what happens to water when it starts to boil? It starts to evaporate. And I was thinking that that's exactly what happens to relations. The relations could evaporate until there's nothing left, and there's nowhere to save it. When it's neglected, when it's freezes, you're able to really bring the effort. You're able to fix it. When a relationship evaporates because of the damage of the pain of the boiling of a relationship, that's where I think that things could just vanish, disappear, and relations could vanish and disappear as well. And that means sometimes we can really look into the what stages are you in the relationship. Are you in the freezing mode when you're neglected, distant, you're not investing time, needed presence? Are you cold water? Maybe just you don't know where you're at, and there's most likely if you don't know where you're at, there's a high chances it's a cold. Maybe warm water. Maybe you really enjoy company, enjoy everything together, and maybe of course there's some kind of small battles. There's always every single relationship, but you know that there is warmth in the relationship, and after that you can really think, okay, maybe there is some things that we do to each other that really starts to heat relationships. And I will share a couple of things that I think is extremely important to mention what really heats up the relationship to understand that, okay, if I do those things, that leads my relationship to potentially to boil and evaporate and disappear. Um, so chronic, uh, so number one is chronic criticism. So really constantly criticizing. Especially for men, I think that is extremely hard to go through that because they crave for respect. And I think that every single man is able to provide and able to and are willing to work for it. But when they are receiving criticism on a consistent basis, they lose the power of really to do the right thing. Number two is mothering instead of partnering. I think that sometimes women think that okay, man is not able to take care of themselves because they are having simple life, simple meals, simple everything simple. And because of that simplicity, sometimes I think that woman doesn't like the simplicity. It's like, oh, you're not able to take care of yourself because not able to make a proper meal for yourself. Maybe I don't need proper meal. Maybe I want simple sandwich, and that's totally fine for me. And I think that's mothering instead of hoarding. Number three, contempt masked as honesty. And that simply is being able to really look into not what a woman said specifically, but how she said it. There's a massive difference. Eye rolls, the face, because when you're in a relationship, you know exactly what kind of face gestures a woman could send to you, and you know exactly that she's sending some signs, some messages through the face, and I think that that's again contempt is masked with honesty. But me, I can tell that in their face that they sending contempt, disappointment, aggressiveness, and that's not good. Number four is the holding appreciation. I think that again that's something that will be heating. Again, this holding appreciation is from two ends. If the holding appreciation is from manipulation side, that's a heating. If withholding appreciation is just because unknown, because one could not know that there's issues withholding appreciation. That means it's a freeze relation, but you're able to fix it. But if you know that a man knows that woman is withholding appreciation because of evil thoughts, I think that's the heats the relationship and boils the relationship. Number five is emotional unpredictability. This is, or people say like, is walking on eggshells. That's very, very common. And when you know, do not know what kind of person you will meet today, what kind of person you will wake up today with. I think that it's puts all on the body, on the relationship, and as it heats up and boils the water, boils the relation. Number six is emotional dumping without regulation. What it means is that sometimes a man could be a dumpster or where it receives all the negativity, it receives everything, but it doesn't have a safe place to do the same. So that means that a person is receiving a lot of negativity, but man simply doesn't have where to really to release that negativity. I think that that's the way men always need to have. And some days people in moments said that why man is so distant. Maybe you put so much negativity that now they need to get distance to really remove that negativity through exercise, through gym, through lifting weights, or any kind of activity that could really allow the person to really get back together. Number seven is loss of femininity in the dynamic. And I think that this last like I already mentioned that femininity is extremely important because if a now there's two masculine energies in the relation. I think that it will start to heat the relationship very, very fast. With the holding, number eight, will holding warmth as control. Again, there's a lot of things that partly is that sometimes we can, as I mentioned, that we're holding warmth without knowing it, and that could be going to freeze. But when you've been holding warmth as control, as manipulation, that's of course will heat the relation and will evaporate sooner or later. And the last one that I want to mention, number nine, and I don't have any, but refusal to take responsibility, take accountability for your actions. I think that's again will be one thing that really heats relation into the point that we start to evaporate. And it's interesting thing that I was reflecting on this analogy. I never heard this analogy before. Maybe someone already created it, but I really find that is it's really similar how water works and how relation works. Because water could go to freeze and relations could go to freeze. Water could be cold and it could be warm. Water could be and relations could be warm and cold. And I think that we need to be very, very careful looking what do we do on a daily basis that we doesn't heat relation, doesn't boil the relationship, and doesn't evaporate. Because when it evaporates, there's nothing to save anymore. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.